I guess I can't relate to that. So, from my point of view, because I only read the book and I never listened to the Audible, I couldn't relate to what people were saying about it, and I felt like y'all was giving her a hard time. The woman wrote a book about herself. She's supposed to be talking about herself.
Well, I thought for her to have written the book, she didn't like follow like regular, like the voice of the book. Like she was kind of.
She wanted it to sound like it was one of her shows, you know, because she owns Thursday nights.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
she
Shout
does.
out to last Thursday.
She does. I just want to say I watched TGIT last night, and I'm like, she really does. And I know no other woman, but I don't even think another person can say that they've owned all the time slots.
True.
In that, and so from what I got a little bit out of the yes year, but just as in general, we don't give ourselves enough credit, and I felt like she definitely. So I didn't necessarily take what she was saying as in an arrogant way. However, I read the book in my own voice, in my own head, so I didn't get that, her talking about herself. But I thought about it, and she does own Thursday night, and that's like an incredible accomplishment. And like, why are we downplaying it? Why are we not propping up our sister and giving her props? But because I didn't listen to the Audible, I think I do have a little bit different view from what you guys experienced, because everyone that listens to the Audible complained about the same thing.
Yeah.
No, and that was something petty. It was all in all, it was a good book.
Yeah, it was.
What I really took from the book is, again, giving yourself credit. I myself never praise the positive in my life. I'm always like, I could have done this better. I could have done that better. And it was kind of refreshing to see Shonda, who is the dominant woman that she is, still have these setbacks of not thinking she was good enough or not thinking she was even beautiful, and she's rich, so she's always So what I took from the book is, again, giving myself the pat on the back to say, you were doing a good job. Jamila, stop being so hard on yourself. I mean, again, I'm not on Shonda's level, but I'm doing some good things in my life, so.
My takeaway, my yes, which I shared, I think earlier, right when I finished the book, was there are like some things in there. Well, I'll say two things. First, I do commend her for writing such a book. It's definitely a book I would give to someone because I think it has a lot of positive messages. I was a little, I'll say surprised maybe is the word, because of her age, that she was still like going through some of these yeses. I feel like, I'm going through some of these now, or I've been through some of these, and I'm just 31. Why is she just now going through? But not in a judgmental way. I think, we all do our own thing, and so it was nice to just kind of hear somebody who doesn't have it all together. The one thing that I identified with her was kind of, although I don't have the fear and anxiety kind of part that she has, but like I can identify having the work piece of your life together, so that people assume that, okay, you have work together, so you have the rest of your life together. Definitely don't have it together. But the one thing, my takeaway from it was that about the yes, I've really been practicing this. It's just saying the you're welcome when someone says thank you, because it is a small thing, but it really is like a way to kind of like demean yourself. Like, oh, no problem. It wasn't a big deal. Da, 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 da. It's just kind of like own it. Like, I did something, or for whatever reason, some thanks was warranted in my direction. Let me just accept it. So that's my yes that I've been practicing. But there's other things that I probably should be doing. Haven't done them yet.
Yeah, I felt like I was kind of experiencing some of the same things that she was kind of going through. She was like a new mom in some parts of it, and she was dealing with that, with work and the weight loss. That's a constant issue for me. So the book was very thought-provoking for me. I had a lot of things. It made me think about a lot of things, like what can I say yes to? It's our honorary book club.
Right. She's also working the camera.
Yeah, exactly. Yes. What can I say yes to? Again, I said yes to the book club. I'm saying yes to maybe doing 3 new things this year that I've never done before.
That's cool.
Just, and I've also decided to say yes to not settling on my next career choice. I can easily go back to what I was doing before, but I'm not going to do that. I'm not gonna settle. I'm gonna say yes to something new. So it was very thought provoking. It made me reevaluate some things in my life, and I appreciate the book for that. Again, the Valley Girl voice I don't appreciate, but the
Does she just
message-
sound very proper, or what?
What
Valley, like
yeah.
she's from California.
Yeah, she
and
sounded a
she's
little-
never had struggle. and-
right, a little bratty. But yeah, she actually one of the things I feel like I've learned that I took away from the book. She seems like a very peculiar person. Listening to her read, but I also kind of like reading the book made me appreciate her shows a little bit
Yeah.
more. It really did, like
Yeah.
her hard work and maybe a little insight into her thought process why these things are happening in the show. But it seems like it's very hard work and it's to be commended for her with 3 girls and just trying to balance
can't
all of
imagine.
that.
I
Yeah.
want to pause on that a little bit. So she makes several references in the show, in the book, about how her shows reflect her life so much. And I am a heterosexual woman that has some homosexual friends, but that's not an overall prevalent theme in my life because I'm heterosexual. And in her shows, it's very prevalent that the whole homosexual thing is a theme for her.
Yeah.
And so, you know, I'm not a Shonda level, but I call myself a writer in some sense. And so I get that you use your own experience, you use your own voice, you even use your own craziness that's in your head when you write. I get that because I do the same. And from that, I was very surprised towards the end when she talked about the marriage chapter that she finally used a he. If you all don't notice, she didn't really use pronouns at the beginning of the book. She never said a he or a she. And so I truly assumed it was a she. The way she put so much homosexuality into her shows, the whole
So good.
adopting the kids but not wanting to be married, not saying that any of that's wrong, and not saying that even her homosexual should be an issue, but I feel like she didn't live in her truth in that moment because I seriously don't think it's a man. That's just my opinion. I kind of got
was
that, and I was like,
Her
she has
client-
a lot of homosexuality in her shows, and she keeps saying, "Oh, my shows reflect real life," and I'm like, "Well, if it reflects your real life," and then the whole, she was in the cupboard, in the closet. I don't know. Maybe I made a leap with that,
Oh,
but I just
okay.
felt like she was
Yeah.
kind of giving us some metaphorical, like she's still hiding some pieces of herself. And at this point, I don't know why. Girl, be
Yeah,
you.
wrote
You're
the-
great.
you wrote
Yeah.
The book of yes. Just tell us.
And
Yes.
you own Thursday night. Like, what they gonna
She do own it.
Yeah,
She
she
do
do.
own
She does
it.
own it. I never really thought about that with the homosexual references. But doesn't she have like other people help her with writing the shows? Maybe some of that has to do with them too.
And it
I don't
could.
know, but I didn't think about that, but yeah. And another thing I liked about the book was I loved her speeches, like how
Her speeches were
Oh, they
very-
were awesome.
Yeah,
they were really,
very-
really awesome.
and those were nice to hear in her voice.
Her
because-
college graduate speech
That
was.
was a good one.
Now that
was-
may be something I would go back and want to hear on one of y'all's Audible, like to hear her give
Yeah.
that. College graduation speeches are boring.
Yes.
Yeah,
They
that
don't
would've
mean
been a good
anything.
one.
You don't take any value away from them. And hers, I would have walked away
It
feeling
was
like
real.
it's cool.
Yeah.
Like I'm gonna feel completely like crap when I walk out of here. Everyone thinks that this should be the greatest day of my life, but I'm a confused kid and I don't know what comes next. And the comfort of college has gone away. And she just tells you that you can be great. I like how her essence is just positivity in general. And I like how real the book was, like the fake friends that she discovered along the way.
That was a good one.
I'm just like,
Yeah.
that happens, and I'm not a mother at all, but I like the fact that you can be a career woman and have a nanny, and she was proud of it, because I just feel like people
Yeah.
getting, like, shameful about getting help. Like,
No.
oh, I
No
need to
shame.
get someone to clean up, or I need someone to help me with laundry. Yes, we're busy.
But I will say that did help her with her yes. If she did not have
That's true.
the support,
Right.
some of those yeses would have definitely.
Right.
been
Definitely.
She has a
Yeah, to be
lot
right.
of help. And one of the
Or
things
can't.
that I was excited about
Oh my gosh.
being a black female is that I liked how, and she didn't really go into too much detail about it, but it was there. For someone that's non-African American reading the book, I was just glad that she had a good story. Like, so many of our, I feel, stories
Right.
came from a single home, and mom had to
Yeah,
walk
she
10
had-
miles to
yeah,
work, and
she
blah, blah,
had
blah.
two
And I was the
educated
one that
parents.
made it. I was the only one in the family that made it. And that's not her story.
Ivy
She
League
comes from a
graduate.
married home, Ivy League graduate, and there are those of us that exist
That is
out
good.
there. You know,
Yeah,
there's
that
African
was
American
nice.
people that they're not the first ones to be married, the first ones to go to college or graduate high school, and those people don't tend to necessarily tell their stories. It's kind of the, you know, writers seem to go and
Rag
find the,
pages.
you know, the we were growing up in a dumpster and I made it on the football team kind of stories. And I
Right,
like that
right.
for someone who's non-African American, they'd be like, oh, they have families like that too. Like
That is
she
good
grew
to
up with two parents and she has, you know, her sisters help her out and they have family dinner and there's no
Right.
drama.
I love
that.
I thought that
I
that was
love that
cool.
too.
And she only talked positivity about her family. Like there
That's
was
true.
nothing
Yeah.
negative
That's
ever said.
Her sisters, her relationship with her sister was nice too. It was like a really real relationship. Like we were talking about how she has all that help, but she didn't really embrace all that help until her sister told her,
Right.
"You don't have to do it all." And we do tend to think that.
You
Tend to think
gotta
Yeah.
carry
that
the
you got
load.
to do it all. Like you have to be like this superwoman, and you don't have to be. If you have help,
Use
then
it.
use it.
Yeah.
Accept the help. I'm sorry. Yeah, it's okay.
So
So yeah, no, but it was good. It was a good book overall. And another thing, one of the things I thought was cool was she mastered TGIT and mastered writing for TV, and now she's mastered writing a book. You know, so that's nice to see that she's kind of into everything, you know, and she succeeded at everything because it's on the list on Audible.com of one of the books to read for Black History Month.
And I've seen
Yeah, that's
posts
cool.
from
Yeah, and
non-blacks about this. I'm sorry,
Right.
non-blacks.
yeah.
Right.
Everyone's reading it, so.
So
I think
yeah,
that's
it's a
pretty
good-
cool.
Yeah,
And I like how she, I don't know, I think she kind of just gave us a different, like, what her concept wasn't that novel. And it wasn't even her concept. Her sister's concept is just like, just say yes to stuff.
Right,
like, whatever
right,
it is,
right.
like, just say yes. Or she kind of twisted it at the end. I know me and Jamila were talking earlier, and she was like, well, I say yes to too much. So then, like, your thing is you need to say no. Like, you know,
Right.
I mean, it's kind of like you have to find your thing, whatever it is.
Right.
But I like the overall theme in the book is make change. Things aren't going out how you like it. You have to make changes, you know. And she's got good results. She looks really
She looks
good.
great.
yeah.
I don't know what she's
No
doing.
surgery.
I know.
Right.
She
I was a
does.
little
Looks really
skeptical
good.
of that though. I'm not gonna lie, because
With
she
the
lost a
surgery.
lot of weight in a very short amount of time, which I know it's doable.
But it really wasn't that short of time. If you think about it, like from when she was writing the book and started, it seemed like it was almost 2 years' time.
Oh, really?
Uh-huh.
Okay, I didn't pick up on that. So,
Yeah,
okay,
it was
that
almost 2 years'
okay.
time.
I didn't realize she was so big.
I
Looking
didn't
back at
either.
pictures.
I looked at some pictures online of her.
Like
she was
before, she was pretty heavy. Yeah, I saw
mhm.
some before ones too. Yeah, and she does. She looks really.
And she
good.
really wasn't doing a lot of appearances, so you didn't really used to
Yeah.
see a lot of
That's
her.
true.
But
That's
yeah,
true.
she was really, really, really heavy.
Yeah.
Even this one isn't the biggest. I've seen other pictures where she was bigger.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Another thing I liked was gosh, I forgot what I was gonna say. I really forgot. It was
No more
something
wine.
about her weight. Nope, I don't remember, but that's okay. It'll come back to
I
me.
had something to say.